Welcome to the Captain's Blog. I'm David McDonough, Senior Vice President at Trilogy Financial. On this blog, we try to take what's unnecessarily complicated back here on Wall Street and make it understandable to you on Main Street. Up 1.5% last week, the same for the year. That's with labor numbers coming in less than expectations. The military operation in Venezuela, again, market's still up. And the sector rotation that I discussed last week in the previous blogs continues. Small companies outpacing large companies. The fear of missing out stocks, the high flyers in December, are now going towards the value names. Again, where have you heard that? Right here on this blog. Did the positivity continue, or did the profit-taking ensue? Here's your week in review. So we came in on Monday to the Justice Department investigating Fed Chair Powell. What a circus. The market does not like uncertainty. And speaking of uncertainty, the president talked about limiting credit card interest rates at 10%. Sounds reasonable. Less lending. Your credit limits will go from 10 grand to 5 grand. Less spending. I don't think it makes sense. And quite frankly, I don't know how a president can do that. On top of that, geopolitical risk. The government, the president talking about, will be there for you where it comes to the Iranian protesters. And thankfully, fundamental news this week, corporations reporting earnings, especially the financials, the bank sector. And this week, what did they say? Their balance sheets are strong, and more importantly, your balance sheet is strong, and you're continuing to spend. So as of this morning, the market is down fractionally for the week. And here's what to look for next week. We have the Supreme Court ruling on whether or not the tariffs are going to be constitutional or unconstitutional. If they rule against them, I believe that chaos will ensue. And speaking of chaos, again, the Middle East. Will we attack or not attack? Again, going into a holiday-shortened week, don't be surprised to see some people take their ball and go home. But be proactive in your portfolios. I talk about not chasing the market. I mentioned at the top of this blog that small companies are outpacing large companies. It's called an asset allocation, folks. Be there before Main Street gets there. Consult your local financial advisor for more details. Now here's your personal finance tip of the week. I talked about taking control of your retirement in your portfolio. Our newest client, Mark from Needham, while still working, contributing to a 401k, had a former 401k at a previous employer. He's 75. He needed to take his RMD, required minimum distribution, not from the one that he's contributing to, but from the former one. He wasn't prepared for that, didn't have a proactive advisor. Well, now he does. This market is at an all-time high. Take action on your portfolios before the market does it for you. And lastly, it's tax season. For those goody two-shoes out there that want to start filing it now, those of you that have online access will start to see it early next week. But the majority of 1099 and 1099-Rs for the IRA accounts will go out the first week in February. So thanks again for checking in. We'll see you next week on the Captain's Blog.